I feel I'm in The Price is Right.
The vibration is right.
I'm extremely pleased to be here. I've been thinking about saying that for a long time. I have a question about awakening. It's not a topic, there's a lot of information out there.
It's not a big universal experience either. It either is or it isn't in the moment. Because it's really talking about connection with Source. That's when you're awake. Clarity and awakening, we want to call the same thing.
Okay. I get that. I get that it's a constant process, but in a lot of the literature, I sort of became obsessed with it about a year ago. And in a lot of the literature, there's sort of a...
This is the time of awakening.
No, not that way. But in the experience of the person who awakens, it seems to be a singularity moment. It's not, in the way that I've heard you talk about it, it's sort of a continuous process. Is a continuous process.
Never ending. Here's exactly how it works. So contrast produces a desire that at first you're not a match to. So you talk yourself into alignment with it, and then the gap closes, and now a manifestation wraps around you. Now you stand with your new manifestation and a whole new set of contrasting experiences, which launches another rocket, which at first you're not a match to. So then you self-soothe and close the gap, and now the manifestation wraps around you and brings with it a whole new set of contrasting experiences. So there is a never-ending value in reaching for alignment with the expansion that life has caused you to accomplish.
I understand that part. However, it seems to me that there is this stage 5 that you're talking about, in which you know that you have arrived at this position in which there's no doubt anymore.
All right, so what that is, that's a study and mastery of your own emotional guidance system. So all that you've lived has created a vibrational reality that Source is standing in about you. And you're somewhere in relationship with that. So when you get in the vicinity of it, now you begin translating that vibration into tangible things. And the first tangible thing that you translate it into is an emotion. Well, thought comes and emotion simultaneously. And then if you're able to maintain it, then soon all kinds of impulses of action and rendezvous and all kinds of other things come into place, and now there's chairs in the room. So the thoughts are turned to things. Once you are consistently able to hold yourself or return there quickly, hold yourself or return there quickly, that's what we're calling step 5, where you know how to manage your vibrational beingness. So no condition throws you, because you understand that conditions are changing because of the vibrational countenance that you are a master of.
I understand.
So that's why when this young mother is being quizzed by her mother, what are you doing about that? I'm loving him. I'm mastering loving him. I'm no longer trying to control his behavior so that I can have a loving response to the condition. I'm mastering clarity. I'm mastering love. So it's the consistency that step 5 is talking about. We've said for many years, this connection to Source, this alignment, is not like a college degree where once you get it, it's yours forevermore. It either is or it isn't in the moment. But your propensity to stay there, that's what Esther is beginning to enjoy. Oh, sure, she's living a big life and big things are happening around her. And so the conditions are happening. And so she'll take the hit from a condition that she doesn't like, but she doesn't stay there more than a few minutes. In other words, that's mastery, that's understanding. I get to feel the way I want to feel regardless of the condition that seems to be presenting itself to me. And further, the understanding that the condition will morph is helpful, but there is a trap in that. There's a trap in saying, okay, I'll do this stupid work so that the condition will change. You know, you don't talk about us like that, but I'll do the work so that the condition will then change. There's a trap in that because your attention is on the condition. That's why we ask you the question, where does the path of least resistance lead? It leads to alignment. It leads to feeling good. And you want to say, but then will it lead to the other things that I want? And we say, yes, but don't need it to do that. Because if you need it to lead to that, you'll be tempted to look at that which right now is still absent because it hasn't manifested, and then you mess up your momentum. You follow that?
Yeah, there is a little bit more, I guess, but I guess this is like when Pete Sampras or somebody's playing a tennis match and they're amazing in the moment, they're awake,
yes,
pretty much. And then when they go out of the game, they probably think, like, can I do that again?
Even watch the best of them in the game. They're not in that state all through the game.
No.
Do you ever see them mad at themselves? Do you ever see them throw the racket down? They're showing their discomfort with the manifestation, but they are predominantly in mastery of their own emotions.
But can you get to the point that you know how to manifest so well that you don't doubt that you won't be able to do it?
You can, but that's like saying, can I stand so still that I never lose my balance? And we say, yes, but how much fun would that be?
All right, I'm happy enough with that.
I have a desire to expand understanding on the topic of perception. The specific question is, use an example to illustrate the question. If there is a room with 4 chairs in the room, or I'm sorry, with 1 chair in the room, and there are 3 people, both you and Seth have said that there really are 3 chairs. In other words, there's 1 chair I perceive, and then each person perceives a chair.
3 different chairs.
Right, so there are 3 different chairs.
Because no 2 are seeing the same chair.
Okay, so then the deeper question is there really a chair there? And which person is perceiving the chair as it really is?
Well, we don't think that there's a better conversation ever to have than one about perception, because perception is using your brain and your personality, your translation of these vibrational circumstances. So as you are seeing what you're seeing or hearing what you're hearing and so on, it's being translated through your vibration. And so usually the 4 people standing in this room are not in such absolute sync on everything that they are seeing it exactly the same. We like the conversation about the chair because this question is helping us in our very leading edge conversation about not just perception but creation, and not just creation but expectation. So stay with us for just a little here. We're going to sort this out in a delightful way, even though it seems like a silly question to most of you. It isn't a silly question. So we've been talking a lot lately about how vibrations become reality, and how through life you have each created a vortex that has enough vibrational components and reality in it to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes right now. The closer you get to syncing up with the vibration of your source, who stands right in the midst of that vibrational reality, the more you become a translator of the vibration into physical things. So let's just put the words out here, turning thoughts to things, turning vibrations to thoughts and emotion, and continuing the momentum of them until they become a reality. Well, so many of you, when you got here, because of those who had come before, who had had exposure to life experience, there has been so much translation of thought into thing that you're surrounded by things like chairs. And these chairs are something that you can pretty much universally, collectively accept. So we don't really think that Seth was literally trying to get you to not believe that there were as many chairs as anyone could count. We think you could bring just about everybody on the planet into a room and ask them how many chairs are in there, and we think that you would get a universally accurate response. If you ask 10 people, they'd see the chair. or the 2 chairs. And if you ask 20 people or 1,000 people, they'd see the chair or the 2 chairs, because these are vibrations, these are expectations that you are accepting. But there is so much beyond the reality of the chair that Seth was trying to get you to understand, that you're not accepting, that you're seeing so differently. And he was absolutely accurate as he is explaining to you that there are not 2 of you who are translating the vibration of anything exactly the same way. We want emphatically for you, rather than having any interest at all in comparing your perspective of how many chairs there are to anyone else's, we want your comparison to be so completely unconditional. In other words, this is really what we're trying to say all day, every day. Thank you for bringing it to us in this powerful way. We don't want you to ask anybody else in the room how many chairs are there. We want you to ask your inner being what the condition is or what the situation is, and try to align yourself with that perspective. It's aligning with what's in your vortex that serves you, not getting others in the room to agree with you on what you perceive. Can you feel the difference in that? That's so important. We're going to say it in another way, maybe the same way, just louder. It's so important that you care not at all or never again about what other humans say about conditions that you are observing. For 2 reasons. The conditions that you are observing are old news. First of all, that's not where it's at. That's not where the creative energy is flowing, and that's not where it's going on now anyway. Where it's going on now is translating this vibrational reality into the new chair, into the new experience, into the new relationship, into the new dollars, into the new. So no 2 people have the same perspective about anything. And isn't it interesting and screwy? Isn't it crazy? Isn't it really, really odd that almost all of humanity spends almost all of its time trying to get others to agree with them how many chairs are in the room? Who brought the chair? Is it a good chair? Is it a bad chair? Is it an appropriate chair? How long has it been a good chair? Was it ever a bad chair? Did it ever serve time? Are there other chairs like it? Should the chairs be banished to a village far, far away? Should we drop bombs on this chair? Scrambling around instead of doing the creative stuff, instead of getting into alignment and watching the universe bring you ideas that bring whole new villages of experience and life and inventions and satisfactions and meanings and collaborations and brilliance. We like your question a lot. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment. We've enjoyed this leading edge conversation. Leading edge is where it's at. When you are a master of creation, you can't go back. You can't settle into something that was before. You are in a different vibrational place than you were just a few hours ago. Your willingness to participate here, to pay attention, to focus, and to experience the energy of this conversation has served you well, because in your willingness you have accepted a vibrational frequency that's more akin to who you naturally are. So you have a different relationship now than you've ever had before with your vortex, which means the impulses of your vortex are going to be more obvious to you. Our encouragement is that you don't try to make anything happen. In other words, don't leave here with a determination that now you're really going to get it done. Understand that you already got it done, and now you're going to enjoy watching what you got done unfold. That really is the way we want you to feel about it. Watch the unfolding, but feel for the impulses. And don't get freaky or crazy about it. In other words, it's not like standing with an ear to the ground listening for every little thing. obvious things will happen. It's obvious stuff that will happen. It's going to happen to you because you've already done it. You're not making it happen. You're letting happen what you've already caused to be. Can you feel the difference in that? So just chill.